Good afternoon everyone, we're about to set out on our game drive for the afternoon. It's a little bit overcast and windy today. Not sure what the voice quality is going to be on the video, but we're going to give it a try nonetheless. Right, let's get out there and see what's going on. So our first animals for the afternoon drive, just out of camp. A couple of blue wildebeest. They also pretty much like impala, don't need much introduction. They're fairly common throughout southern Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. And in this particular case we're looking at the blue wildebeest, very common in the savannah. You might be familiar with them from TV shows and having seen the Great Migration in East Africa, where there's obviously a significant amount of them in the plains that you can see crossing the Mara River, very famous. Up in East Africa we refer to that biome there as grass savanna versus this that we talk about or referred to as wooded savanna. So we've got more trees here than what they've got, and hence the fact that there isn't a natural migration process that takes place down here in southern Africa. We have zebra and wildebeest break up into smaller groups, smaller herds. Remember first afternoon we spoke about kingship groups in zebra, and then just small herds of wildebeest, maybe numbering anything between sort of 6 or 7 up to 20, 30 animals, but seldom more than that in these thicker wooded areas. So very excited because we've just stumbled onto an incredible phenomena that you find in nature, not common to see. If you get the camera in there, you'll notice at the top there's a little bird's nest belonging to blue waxbills. And then just below the blue waxbill nest you can see a paper wasp nest. There's actually quite a few wasps on that nest, so we definitely don't want to get too close and disturb them. The vehicle's quite far away from us, so we're not going to make it in time. But basically what's going on here, which is absolutely amazing, is that the blue waxbills have located and built this nest close to the paper wasp nest, and in turn the wasps actually offer them some form of protection indirectly just by being so close to their actual nest. This has always been one of my personal favorites to see in the bushes, this relationship between the blue waxbill and the paper wasp. Really nice. So we've discovered another special little thing on this afternoon's game drive, an orb web spider, in this particular case the garden orb. You find orb web spiders throughout the world, not just in southern Africa. And what makes this particular one really interesting is the construction. configuration of these extra thickened strands of web that you see within the main web itself. We refer to those scientifically as a stabilimentum, and there's long since been many theories or arguments as to what exactly the purpose is. Apart from actually adding stability and structure to the main web, increasing its strength, there's also a school of thought that believes that this stabilimentum actually gives off ultraviolet rays, which then attracts pollinating type insects to fly straight into the web, and as a result of that then the spider gets a meal. You would potentially have seen this mechanism in work in certain flowers that have an ultraviolet looking metallic type powder on the actual flower itself, which enhances the color to insects from a distance, and in doing so then lures the actual insects to the flowers, and in this particular case to the web. So here's another good indication of the good rains we've had this season. We're well into April and we've still got these mud wallows, or these natural pans around with a lot of water. These pans are very popular with animals, the pachyderms, the thick-skinned animals, particularly elephant, buffalo, rhino and warthog. Warthog not too thick-skinned like the other three, but it's got little or very sparse hair cover. And really what they use these mud wallows for, two important functions. The one is they cake or cover themselves in mud when they wallow, and it helps cool the body temperature down, regulates body temperature. It's not a sunscreen, it regulates body temperature and cools them down. And then as the mud dries on the body, external parasites such as ticks become dislodged. And then what they do, in close proximity to these pans, you get beautiful trees. In this particular case, there's one over there called an apple leaf. You can see it's got a lot of rubbing on it. Mud that's been placed there from elephant rubbing against it. And then as the animal rubs against the tree, the mud comes off, and then quite often the ticks that are dislodged in the mud also comes off. Let's take a walk there and have a look at the tree. It's beautiful to see. So here we are next to the tree. You can see a lot of mud cover right around. There's beautiful mud on this side, there's mud on this side, and then some over here. This is very thick at this height, regularly used by buffalo and rhino. And then much higher up, it would obviously be elephant. Spotted hyena, all by its lonesome. The rest of them obviously, like us, under lockdown. You know you're not allowed on the street. Starting its late afternoon, early evening forage, showing quite a lot of interest in the vehicle. They're incredible animals. They've got so many features that makes them unique and special. Strong jaws, sloped back, very resilient, great stamina with which they hunt prey down over long distances. And I say hunt their prey because there's this misconception that they don't hunt, but they actually do. In these areas they hunt at least 53% of their own food and then scavenge the rest. They're highly successful because they can both hunt and scavenge. How beautiful is that? Coming right up to the vehicle to say hello. He just got a fright as a dove flew away. And there he goes. Fortunately for him, unlike us, there wasn't any panic food buying. He's living out here in nature, unawares of what's going on in the world, and quite happy to just carry on with his normal life. So we've got another grasshopper along for the ride. We seem to be very popular with them on the game drives. Another little small creature. So this afternoon's drive has been predominantly about the smaller things, which are just as interesting. Historically, when the weather's like this, and most guides out there will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this, but when it's overcast, windy and cold, the bigger animals don't seem to come out to play. I've not known it any different in the past 26 years that I've been in the field. So then you have to improvise, and you have to just look at everything else. And that concludes our afternoon game drive. I'm going to try and plan a walk, a bush walk for this coming week. If the weather plays along, we're going to wait for a nice clear morning with no wind. Maybe we can get a bit of tracking in, follow an animal and see if we can find it. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed the show.